everyone, and welcome to my channel. I am the Midnight Gypsy, and this is a reading for the sign of Sagittarius for the month of January. We're going to start off by pulling a couple of runes, and I will be using a book to help guide me to bring you the messages. Oh baby, you guys have the unknown rune, the unknowable. And this is the first time I pulled this rune, so I'm really excited to read what the message is here. Okay, the unknowable, the divine, Odin, the all-father. Blank in the end, blank the beginning. This is the rune of total trust and should be taken as exciting evidence of your most immediate contact with your own true destiny. Time and again rises like the phoenix from the ashes of what we call fate. The appearance of this rune can portend a death, but that death is usually symbolic and may relate to any part of your life as you are living it now. Relinquishing control is the ultimate challenge for the spiritual warrior. Here the knowable informs you that it is in motion in your life, and that blankness is held in undiluted potential. At the same time, both pregnant and empty, this rune comprehends the totality of being, all that is actualized. Drawing the blank rune may bring to the surface our deepest fears. Will I fail? Will I be abandoned? Will all be taken away? And yet, our highest good, our truest possibilities, and all our fertile dreams are held within this blankness. Wow. So this is a lot of messages here. So this is just really about embracing the divine, embracing what you don't know, embracing the mysteries of life, and not having fear and having faith and trust within that. Let's pull another rune and see what other messages Spirit wants to add to your reading. You have breakthrough. So I think a breakthrough is coming to you, and something happened and you feel like you don't know which way to go or what's the right path or what action to take. And you have to trust and have faith in the universe that they're going to guide you and help you with this breakthrough. But let's see what the book has to say about the breakthrough rune. Breakthrough transformation. Here is the final rune belonging to the cycle of initiation. Drawing it often signals a major shift or breakthrough in the process of self-change, a complete transformation in attitude, a 180-degree turn. For some, the transition is so radical they're no longer able to live the ordinary life in the ordinary way. Because the timing is right, the outcome is assured, although not from the present vantage point predictable. In each life, there comes at least one moment which, if recognized and seized, transforms the course of the life forever. Rely therefore on radical trust, even though the moment may call for you to leap empty-handed into the void. With this rune, your warrior nature reveals itself. Wow. So this is definitely confirming that you need to have trust about the unknown and take a leap of faith and trust that the universe has your back. So definitely a very powerful message for you guys, Sagittarius. So let's go in with the Journey Oracle, see what further messages Spirit wants to add to your reading. You have synchronicity. So Spirit is sending you signs and synchronicities and symbols that you need to keep an eye out for, especially if they are repeating. They mean something to you. So whatever symbols that you see, look them up and see what the meanings are, because there's a message behind that. This could also be symbolism from your past on loved ones. They might be trying to send you a message, especially if you've been reaching out to them for guidance, assistance, and help, and saying, where do I go? What do I do? What decision should I make here? They're trying to help you, but you have to be open and believe that when you see these synchronicities, that they are messages from the universe, from your guides, from your past on loved ones. You have limiting beliefs. So Spirit wants you to recognize your limiting beliefs that are preventing you from your progress. I think that you know what decision you need to make in this situation, but you're afraid that if you do, It's going to be wrong. You don't trust yourself. You're holding yourself back. You don't feel like you're enough. You don't feel like you're going to be successful. You're afraid of failure. And this wall of self-protection is actually inhibiting your growth. Right, Spirit, can we get one more card for the sign of Sagittarius? Spirit, what messages do you have for Sagittarius? Okay, now we have like 5 cards fly out. I'm going to keep going because I want 1 card, please. Here we go, baby. Introspection. Spirit is asking you to go within and really really see things from a different perspective, to really you know, reconnect with your higher self, with your spirit. It's time to, you know, maybe do some meditating, maybe do some shadow work, and really get to the root cause of those limiting beliefs, because that's holding you back from being able to make this decision or moving forward. And we have the Hanged Man. So that's confirming to me that you're in a place where you feel like you're stuck and you're not sure which way to go. You don't maybe know whether to take a risk or a new opportunity, or say yes to a certain relationship, because you're afraid of things that happened in your past that didn't work out for you, that somebody maybe you don't feel like you can trust. You don't trust yourself, you don't trust your intuition, and you don't trust other people. Those are your limiting beliefs. Spirit's trying to get you to see things from a different perspective, and your guides are giving you those signs and symbols to help you find the right path. But you're really stuck in your anxiety, fears, and your worries here. And I think you might be having nightmares and not sleeping well. And Spirit is telling you not to be afraid of I feel like I'm getting, you know, with this introspection card here, it's like I want to say you're afraid of the dark. And that may not be literal, but it could be symbolic. It's like you're afraid of facing the shadow aspects of yourself, and that's like truly what represents the dark. If you're somebody who maybe sleeps with the TV on, or with the light on, or with a night light, where do those fears come from? Like those literal fears, like, you know, adults are afraid of the dark. Let's just say that. Let's just put that out there. If you grew up as a child where you were afraid of the dark and you found comfort with a nightlight or sleeping with a TV, you probably still do it. Even though everyone tells us like the blue light keeps you awake and it's bad for you and blah, 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 and the dark will help you sleep. You're holding on to something from your childhood that's perpetuating a fear, and the literal fear of the dark is definitely a symbol of something else that you're not facing within yourself. Because this is all about fear and anxiety here. And it's like a false sense of security. Think of like a security blanket or a stuffed animal that you sleep with. Like if you know, I'm not saying there's not anything wrong with having that. I have all of my stuffed animals from when I'm a kid. I have a stuffed toy that looks like my dog that I sleep with because I miss my dog who passed away. So I'm not judging anyone who does that, but you know, if you're relying on that for security, how do you have security without it? And what is keeping you from moving forward? So let's see what messages your guides have to add to this reading. I also think that not being able to make this decision is keeping you up at night because you're afraid you're going to make the wrong choice. You're going to lose out here. We have nurture spirits and devotion. So Spirit is asking you to nurture yourself at this time. It's time for some self-care, some self-love. I think you're too hard on yourself and you're creating this really fear-based mindset, this negative mindset that's perpetuating here. And we have like a ton of cards. So Spirit is trying to speak to you and you're not listening. You're not seeing it. Purpose, master teacher. There's a path that you're on and Spirit's trying to move you forward and out of the darkness and into the light. And this could have to do with your career. This question that you're questioning might have to do with work. I don't know why. This person looks like they're going to work. And they want you to say yes to this new opportunity or this promotion that's at hand, because I feel like it's part of your destiny. So if you're contemplating that, I feel like it's yes. And then we have family, Holy Spirit. So this is about your actual family, but it's also about your spiritual family. And it's about, you know, you're trying to connect, I think, with a certain passed on loved one. And I think they are watching over you, and they're trying to guide you and help you. And they're sending you signs and synchronicities. It could be birds. It could be a dove. It could be butterflies. It could be flowers. They don't want you to be afraid. They don't want you to have anxieties. They don't want you to have any worries. They want you to trust. They want you to have faith. And they want you to know you're on the right path. You don't have to worry about anybody taking advantage of you or hurting you or losing out in this situation. They want you to get out of the hangman space, and they want to get you onto this track. But it's time to, you have to face your fears to move forward. Spirit wants you to see the root cause of this fear, and they want you to face it and send it love and light. And that's how you break free of this cycle of this fear that you have, this shadow that's hanging over you. If you're afraid, if you feel like you're being haunted, like you have a haunted house, or you feel like you're seeing things or hearing things, it is probably your passed on loved one trying to connect with you, and is not probably a cause for fear, anxiety, or concern. You might be waking up in the middle of the night, you feel like somebody's in your room. I think that it's your passed on loved one trying to connect with you. So don't be afraid. And if you are afraid, you can actually say out loud, you know, whoever is there, you know, this is my home, and, you know, if you're going to be here, you have to not send me negative energy. If you think it's a passed on loved one, talk to them. Hey, Dad, is this you? Hey, Grandma, is that you? Please give me a sign. You can ask for a specific sign too. So my father passed away, and I asked him to show me a blue jay when he's around. And he does. Like, a blue jay will appear in the next couple of hours, like after saying, please send me a blue jay. And it might not be a physical blue jay, like an actual bird. It might be a painting of a blue jay. It, you know, might be a cartoon of a blue jay, or whatever. It might be the word blue jay. But he will send it to me. Like, if you believe, it will happen. And I think that you might have some mediumship abilities, and you're afraid of that. And, you know, we're taught to fear that. We're taught that that's negative. We're taught that that's the devil. We're taught that that's scary, that ghosts are scary, and it's really not. I think this is part of what's happening here. All right, so let's get some final cards and see what else Spirit wants to say to wrap up your reading. Spirit, what final messages do you have for Sagittarius? All right, you have a hidden gift. Oh my gosh. Sadness and ending a new beginning. Okay, so I definitely feel like you lost somebody. It could have been a man. I specifically talked about a father figure. So that could resonate with some of you out there. It doesn't have to be, though. You have a hidden gift, and I think it's mediumship. And you either are denying it because you're afraid. I think this is why you're afraid of the dark. I'm just picking, that's like a very specific message, but I'm sorry, I got to go with whatever Spirit gives me. It's time to accept this gift and not be afraid of it anymore. You might want to find a mentor or a guide or a spiritual community to help you learn more about this so that you're less afraid. I am not a medium. I am clairsentient, though, which means that I experience spirit through physical touch, which can be very disturbing if you don't know what's happening. So, for example, I have had the sensation like somebody's tugging on my shirt when no one was around. And I was like, did that just really happen? I'm crazy. That didn't happen. And when it happened, I got chills all the way down my spine. And I was like, holy crap, it felt like someone pulled on my shirt. And I was like, no. Didn't happen. Well, then it happened again a couple months later in the same space in my home. It happened. And I was like, that happened. that definitely happened. I'm not crazy. Somebody pulled my shirt. I said out loud, Dad, is that you? Grandma, is that you? You know, whoever my past on loved ones I was close with. And I asked them for a sign, and they didn't give me one, or I couldn't perceive the sign they were trying to send me. Spirit reaches out to you through the path of least resistance, and for me, that is clairsentience. I actually had a reading with a psychic medium not long after that happened, and she asked me, have you ever felt anyone pulling on your hair or tugging on your shirt? And I went stark white, and I got goosebumps all over me. And I'm like, yeah. And she said, oh, it is this grandmother that passed away. And I was like, oh my God, it was my grandma. So, you know, while I wasn't able to get confirmation at the time, she probably was sending me signs, symbols, and synchronicities trying to tell me. But I think because I doubted myself, and I doubted what was happening, and I was afraid that I couldn't get the clarity that I wanted. So don't be afraid if you don't get that clarity, because it takes time, and it takes training, and it takes practice to get there. But you have a gift, and there might be a certain you might be clairvoyant. So you might see things, I feel like, with the shadow and with the way the guy's closing his eyes here, and with the synchronicities. So keep an eye out for that. There's also a new beginning at hand if you're trying to make a decision here. And Spirit is going to help guide you. Your passed on loved one is the one that's trying to help guide you out of this hanged man feeling or situation into this new path. So Spirit, you got to trust that this person is a positive person. And then we have Sacred Heart, passion, love, and spiritual communion. So this heart here is telling me that this experience you have is not to be perceived negatively. It is somebody who loves and cares about you. You're connected on a spiritual level, and they're trying to connect with you to help you. So embrace it and don't be afraid. So those are all the messages that I have for you, Sagittarius. Thank you, and have a great January.